It's Tuesday, and we are playing White Weenie, or I don't know. So, I wanted to look back at like the mono white MH3 deck list we've been working on. I think that there's like so many good white cards in the set that it's kind of tough to like abandon ship after a couple failed experiments. I think, or at the very least, like these kind of decks have not been like as promising as some of the other stuff we've been trying. So, but I was trying to work on the Essence Reliquary Recruiter of the Guard build, and I was trying to play Pearl Medallion over Aether Vial, and I'm like still a little stuck on that one. Hold on, I've lost. There it is. So still a little stuck on this one, but I ended up like that kind of ended up morphing here where we've been saying this a lot, just getting to main deck Suppression Field. So it has always been, or has for a very long time been, a really, really powerful thing to be able to do. And the biggest problem with Suppression Field is that it stops you from playing a lot of good cards you could play. It stops you from playing Aether Vial, stops you from playing Unstable Amulet in the case of like the Boros deck, stops you from playing the One Ring, stops you from playing Essence Reliquary, which is at least a card I like a lot. But I've also been very impressed with like the Collector's Cage deck, where just having this like having your deck has Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, Ajani. You just have some really really powerful like white weenie beatdown draws. So I kind of wanted to complement that plan without the Collector's Cage stuff, which is also something Suppression Field has some tension with, and just play Suppression Field, Solitude, Ephemerate, and Ranger-Captain for interaction, and then you get to increase your card quality even further by playing Esper Sentinel, by playing Phelia, by playing White Orchid Phantom, which I think is very good in the main deck right now because there's like a big uptick in like Tron and Eldrazi. And then Ranger-Captain gives you a lot of insulation against Storm. Ranger-Captain gives you a lot of insulation against Storm. Suppression Field gives you a lot of insulation against Nadu. Solitude Ephemerate gives you a lot of insulation against the Yawgmoth decks, which are kind of popping up a little bit. White Orchid Phantom gives you a lot of insulation against Eldrazi. And this is all complemented by like a pretty aggressive white shell that's playing Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, Ajani, Phelia. And something that's also been pretty cool is that your ability to like flicker Ranger Captain and then get multiple Ocelot Prides can be really, really powerful. Because if you get multiple Ocelot Prides, you just make a crap ton of tokens. And this is kind of a good way to even grind out a late game. A little bit of tension between Suppression Field, Ranger Captain. So maybe against Storm, you don't want to play out your Suppression Field if you have a Ranger Captain in your hand, or maybe not at all. But I'm pretty excited about this one. True, but red and Flage. I don't know what you're asking, but Flage is a good card. I did consider splashing Flage. I'm playing Ranger Captain in a 3-drop slot. Flage is a lot worse without fetch lands, and you don't want to play fetch lands with Suppression Field. Well, I'm going to keep this. We've got Suppression Field against Nadu. We've got Ranger Captain against Storm. Playing the red MDFC with Flicker Wisp and a similar shell. It lets you loop Ephemerate forever. I'm not like really in love with the whole Flicker Wisp the MDFC stuff. I just think it's like not really particularly powerful. But I haven't tried it. Could end up impressing. Okay, I think drawing the second one of these, I'll just play one of these tapped. Yes, there is a Surveil land for Flagstones. Probably takes my Suppression Field. Maybe not. Maybe takes Solitude. Do you want any red permanents for Johnny ability? I do not want to play that stupid red hybrid 1-drop. I'm not gonna put Figure of Destiny into my modern deck. I understand that it's a red permanent for a Johnny. I get it. I just don't have the strength to register this card. Okay, well those clue tokens are gonna be pretty bad, and Tommy will be pretty bad with the Suppression Field. I don't have the strength to register Figure of Destiny. I just am not strong enough. Ranger Field Nambo. Thank you for the feedback. I understand small tension. I think it's fine. How's White Orchid Felton decks? It looks underwhelming. I've never played with it. I think the card's pretty good, especially when you can flicker it a lot, and it seems kind of necessary at the moment too, with the increase in. I think I just want to do this. It seems kind of necessary to me with the increase of Eldrazi decks. Okay, opponent, I'm trying to play through Suppression Field. Could be one of the 2-drop Ranger-Captain. I know you want to play a Figure of Destiny in your deck, and so I don't know. Like, the thing is, Ajani is just a good card if you don't have red permanents. I'm still like very happy to play 4 copies of this card in my deck. 6/6 Murktide. I'm just like very happy to have 4 copies of Ajani in my deck with no red permanents. I'm not very happy to register a yeah, we'll just play another Suppression Field, and then Tamio is just like irrelevant, so seems probably better than trying to Razorgrass this. Figure of Destiny is an awful card, or it's like just very, very low card quality, and it makes Ajani a little bit better, or like a lot better sometimes. So I don't know. Just not about it. Thinking Frog. Although nobody these Suppression Fields are. Ooh, okay, so I guess White Orchid Phantom plus Razorgrass might get the job done. What decks are running ways to kill Murktide? Feels like a hard to answer threat in the meta. Maybe it is. Our deck has 4 Solitudes. So I think I'm going to play around a removal spell instead of a counter spell by letting first strike damage happen first. Instead of I could play around a counter spell by casting this first and then just not blocking. But I think I'd rather play around a removal spell. What the fuck happened? Is this 3 damage? Fuck, I thought it was 4 damage! Sorry, chat. Hard to play around miscounting, I tell you what. You need to do Eiganjo. I couldn't do Eiganjo because of the Suppression Fields. Eiganjo cost 6 mana there. Okay, so this is a trade here because they cannot activate the Psychic Frog. Although I guess Suppression Field of Johnny is also Nambo, huh? If I draw a land, I can activate it. Doing a little bit more work on on their end, I think. Daniel, 28 months, thank you, welcome back. So we got them off of basically black mana in general. They're never going to be able to activate these, this. I might die to the Murktide Regent if I can't find a Solitude. Does Inverter with Frog to exile the yard sound decent? Yeah, it does sound decent. It sounds like that's the start of an idea. So we're looking to top deck another Solitude. Could maybe chump block with this for a bit. Suppression Field of Johnny. I think it's okay. You can board these out too, but I'm not too worried about it, I think. Suppression Field is just too freaking good. And so is Murktide Regent. I think if I hadn't punted, maybe we would have been able to double block and then ambush. A little bit of a whoopsie-doopsie there. So Portable Hole deals with Death Shadow, Frog, Tamio. It's probably a card we want some copies of. Is there anything that's looking like particularly bad? I mean, Suppression Field seems great. They're playing Street Wraith, Tamio, Bobble. Yeah, we drew 3 of them, which is a little... a little tough. The second one was even kind of okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play 3 Portable Holes, 1 White Orchid Phantom. Go with this. Also, Phelia helps us deal with Murktide Regent too. Does WotC ever ask you people to consult on eternal formats on standard league stats or only special stuff over Assassin's Creed? I've been asked to do Lord of the Rings, Assassin's Creed, Modern Horizons 3, but I know that they also have people come in and consult about like stuff for Commander. I don't know if how much they do for Legacy or other formats or standard sets, but I think it's, you know, I think it kind of varies from project to project. 1 Sanctifier over 1 Orchid. I'm not sure if I like Sanctifier too much here, but maybe it's okay. Because I do have a second land with the Witch Enchanter. Sequencing here is kind of interesting. I think what I'll do is I'm going to go Sentinel on turn 1. Their deck just plays so many non-creature spells on turn 1, and then I can go Guide of Souls into Ocelot Pride, and then trigger the Ocelot Pride end of turn. Field ... What does this mean? I wonder. Field ... I think it's like has enough legends to put Xenu, Key 9 to play reliably. I mean, we have a lot of legends. Pitches Solitude. I would try the card out of this deck, yeah. Janky Nightmare, 43 months. Thank you, welcome back. Not a bad start here. Thoughtseize, let me draw a card. Nightmare at the 43, Rocco at 35. Thank you so much. Yeah, if we can Guide of Souls or Esper Sentinel to really make it powerful. Take my White Orchid Phantom. And they push my Ocelot. Alright, well, sticking to the plan. If they have Toxic Deluge, you get to draw 2 cards. Not even so real bad, really. Nothing to boost your Weenies. We have the Guide of Souls. But yeah, I was thinking about playing Force of Virtue in this deck too, with the White Hawk would also be kind of better. So I'm open to that once Assassin's Creed drops. Well, they're at 9 life points. Let's get in for 3. Yeah, I like Xenu. I did a little video talking about all the cards I think are kind of playable from Assassin's Creed. There's not that many, but I think I talked about like 12 cards or something. Also let you pitch extra suppression fields. Yeah, but we also already have Solitudes, but... And also, second suppression. I think third suppression field usually ends up being a bit much. I like Ranger-Captain. I think Recruiter might be good too. Probably too slow. Yeah, I think with Recruiter of the Guard, you need to have either Aether Vial or Pearl Medallion in your deck. I think on the draw, I'm going to play this 4th Portable Hole. Is this Death and Taxes? You can call it Death and Taxes. You can call it White Weenie. I'm trying to bring back White Weenie. Poor Drannith Magistrate is living in Rising that much. Drannith Magistrate is an awesome card in Modern at the moment. It's good against not only Living End, but also very good against Storm. But yes, also Living End is very popular at the moment. The top 3 decks of Modern have been Nadu, Ruby Storm, and Living End. No Flicker Wisp for Witch Enchanter. Unlucky, yeah. With Flicker Wisp Witch Enchanter, you can remove a land in play to get a Reclamation Sage. Thoughts on cutting one of the suppression fields for my pet card? I'll get back to you on that. I'm just gonna play this tapped. How's Witch Enchanter? I like Witch Enchanter. It's really nice that like if you just have a bunch of these in your main deck, you don't really need to play like Lauren in your sideboard or like a bunch of disenchants and stuff. It's just kind of like having access to like 4 of these game 1 make you pretty good against the artifact decks. I could spell Pierce Terror, but I'm going to Consign is interesting. Suppression Field gets worse the longer you wait on it. Oh, and it just 6. Nice. Do you know when Decklist are due for PT? I don't. I've been still chatting with a few friends of mine who are queued, but you know, just mostly focused on the stream still. I'm gonna play Guide of Souls and then Phelia end of turn if this I think Phelia end of turn no matter what. I think if they counter this on their turn, I'm kind of okay to just untap, play Ranger-Captain. I think Friday. I think the Pro Tour starts Friday, so Decklist are probably due tomorrow or Thursday, if I had to guess. Snagging games by just resolving field. Well, it's our first match of the day, but Suppression Field's very good. We did lose game 1, but the Suppression Field was stopping. We had 3 Suppression Fields in play, and they had like 2 Clue tokens, Mishra's Bauble, and like 2 fetch lands that were just stuck. I'm just gonna flicker my Suppression Field. I am not gonna just jam Ranger-Captain into all this open mana when I'm like. I think it's kind of clear that they're just holding up mana this turn. It's bad. It's bad if they have Street Wraith. Okay, so have I just played into Null Drifter? Hard to imagine they don't have a counterspell. I think I'm still just not casting my Ajani. I'm just flickering the Suppression Field so I can grow my Phelia, of course. Quite the combo. Another one. Also good not to play Ajani into Dress Down, I guess. Is there an updated fair breach deck that exists, like evolution of the old Jeskai list? I mean, I don't know. You could build that. I don't know if like that is the direction I would necessarily even recommend going. Like I don't know that I would try to be playing a fair version necessarily. Well, they just let that resolve. But they have a consign. Do you also have a Stern Scolding? So we have to flicker the shadow so I can get in. And then I'm just gonna hold up Ephemerate, I think. Rather than play this Ocelot. Yeah, I could blink the portable hole here also. But I think it's kind of bad to lose my Phelia in this spot. DJ 17 months, thank you, welcome back. If I put in Thought Seizes, I'm probably Ephemerating the Ajani in response. Second Shadow is pretty good. We win if they go for Murktide, we can Ephemerate Ajani, exile Murktide, and then I guess we don't have lethal still, sorry. I could attack with Phelia, flicker portable hole, then Ephemerate the Phelia after it gets blocked, maybe? I think they're holding up mana. I'm just going to play my second Suppression Field and also hold up mana. Well, they drew a basic island, which is kind of a great draw for them, not a fetch land. Very close game. Yeah, they know I have this Ephemerate. Well... You can Ephemerate the cat after first strike damage. It will not resolve, I think. I think my opponent has some amount of counter spells, removal spell in their hand. Seems like bad to make the first move here. So now I can go attack with Phelia on the portable hole, get this exiled into turn. Could go for the Ocelot Pride flicker. Seems less than ideal. I didn't see the redeemed deck tech, sorry. Give me a second. What am I looking for? Solitude? I guess. Solitude would be a great draw. I'm trying to figure out this turn right now. I could flicker the Murktide and just have it shrunk. Attack with everything. Target Murktide. Block. Would Reconnaissance be worth it in Phelia decks or way too deep? I mean, Reconnaissance seems like kind of unplayable, but I don't know. Like it obviously is good with Nadu, but doesn't seem like optimal in the Nadu decks. Wasn't end of turn Ephemerate lethal? My opponent had Counterspell up. I've been playing around Counterspell for like 5 turns. I keep talking about how I'm playing around counter interaction. My opponent is a blue-black deck with 4 mana up and 4 cards in hand. I'm going to wait. I mean, Arbiter's okay. We could be playing Arbiter in this deck, to be honest. False Clyde, 29 months. Thank you. Welcome back. How many thousands we're running? None. Okay. Right. Misty Rainforest, not doing a lot for them. So we're going to rebound the Ephemerate on our Ajani. I think I'm going to attack with my entire team here. Because if they don't block Phelia, that's good for me. And if they because I get to make I get to make a cat warrior token and 2 1/1 cats, which this will just win the game if they don't block this. And I think I basically win if they don't block here. And I'm not gonna play this Ephemerate too aggressively. Like I'll just let blocks happen probably. Yeah, we can also activate Ajani too, despite our suppression fields if the cat gets blocked. Could maybe just have attacked with the cats, but I think I'm just okay with this. So my opponent's at 1, and then I'm going to make 3 creatures end of turn. And we get to keep the Ephemerate up too. Okay, not sure what was in their hand. Cool first match. Build it. Enters on taps, it taps for your only color, and it does something. It's about all you need. Okay, well, keeping this. If I have a Scales base, what deck would I assemble in MH3? Scales is probably still solid. Some people have been wanting to try Kappa Cannoneer in Scales. I don't think it's looked very good in that deck, but you could play it. Not sure. I mean, I would not recommend Affinity. You got the Urza Sagas, could build Nadu. Put Nadu in Scales, and then work your way to Nadu combo, maybe. Alright, let's get a Surveil. Graveyard to land. Cannoneer for often testing. Nadu plus Storm feels like terrible Scales metagame, so set it aside. Nadu plus Storm feels like a terrible Scales metagame. Yeah, maybe. Probably up against Goryo's. They have Sanctifiers for Goryo's. Yeah, people have tried Ugin's Lab in Affinity. It has been a long and painful journey with the Affinity deck, as usual. Look, get a little flooded here. Don't think I'm. Yeah, I don't think they have Fatal Push. I'm just gonna go and ramp myself and then my library some. Hope to draw some juice. Should we play the Boros Riverland to bluff red energy cards or too far gone? I mean, I have this to bluff Haywire Might in my Ranger-Captain deck. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just not that deep. Ranger-Captain would be a nice draw. We might just get Goryo's out of existence. Oh, they don't discard a big thing. I guess you do just summon a land to the top when you thin your library, huh? "20 lands in the deck. This is one of them. This is one of them. I am lost for building Ajani without red permanents. Well, Ajani is a good card without red permanents still. Ajani is still a good card without red permanents. We are, not built around Ajani so much as Ajani is just a good card to play in the deck. And the big thing here is Suppression Field is a super, super, super good modern card. Suppression Field rules. The card is so good. It is just one of the best cards in the format that it's very difficult to play. And so part of playing it is playing a mana base that doesn't have any basics. Or sorry, any fetch lands. And so like your red splash is much harder if you're not playing fetch lands. Which is, kind of how we've arrived on this list here. It's obviously possible. Okay, so they have Grief pitched Tainted Indulgence. They see my hand of just lands. Are they going to Goryo's their Ulamog with Annihilator 2? Probably not. And it's like in this deck we're able to flicker Ajani a lot. We have extra cats with Ocelot Pride. We get to flip it. Flipping it's even like being in on the flip side is kind of worse because of the static prisons. A lot of times you're just not flipping it, but Ajani's just still a pretty good card. Okay, I mean this kind of just does nothing. I don't know. I mean this is why I'm not the biggest fan of Ulamog over Grief and Griselbrand in this deck because you kind of have to pitch something big for this card to be really impressive. I'm sure I know of course we're seeing like the like worst possible situation for this card. But it's like basically has done nothing. just almost no text. But this is Griselbrand. I mean, obviously they're playing 4 Traxa, but if this was Griselbrand, we'd probably lose. Maybe not. Can we try a figure of some kind, Destiny? Perhaps. Yeah. If you could play one figure of Destiny for Ajani, it might even be right. But like, I don't know. I just would really hate to draw a figure of Destiny and lose because I drew an awful card. It's also like figure of Destiny in your Suppression Field deck is like worse than usual. Even. Oh, they're also playing Griselbrand. Weird. How does Ajani with Bombardment sound? Flips easily and is a red permanent. We've talked. It's been a topic of hot conversation. Ajani plus Goblin Bombardment. I will get around to building the deck at some point, perhaps, but I have not built it yet. But right now, it's just a dream, Oh, sorry, I thought they were targeting the Ulamog here. Well, they did target the Ulamog. And now it has Annihilator 10. What the freaking heck? Ulamog is so good, actually. Wait, why does it... Oh, because it counts itself. Right. So I can get them down to 3. I need a figure of Destiny stat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, Ulamog good actually. All of a sudden. Right, the ward sack 2 permanents. Okay, so I sack 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm just dead. This also doesn't get exiled by Sanctifier too. Yeah, I have exactly 10 permanents. Well, okay, Ulamog's great, actually. I take it all back. Dang. I guess Solitude can clean up Ulamog decently. How's Suppression Field against them? It mostly just stops their fetched lands. But they do play a lot of fetched lands. Might just be the cut, though. Kind of feel like we can go after their basics pretty aggressively with White Orchid Phantom. I don't think I should have 0, though. Let's play 2 copies. Probably go down to Ajani. How many basics do they play? I think they play like between 2 and 3 basics usually. So we'll see. Maybe the White Orchid Planet won't be that good, but their mana is also not amazing in general. You gotta look for all the MDFCs, I guess. My opponent's on roll to 6. I'm gonna go to 5 on this 1-lander on the play. Definitely keeping this. Put back Witch Enchanter, Ephemerate, I guess. Opponent's also on a 5. I believe Ocelot getting you 13 permanents could have won. Well, I hadn't gained life that turn, so Ocelot wasn't going to trigger. I gained life. I could have gained life off the Guide of Souls, but I got the Guide of Souls off Ranger-Captain, not off Ocelot. Or sorry, I didn't have it already. So if I play Phelia this turn, I have to main phase it. So I guess let's just go ahead and surveil and then see what we surveil into. Must with the 19 months. Thank you, welcome back. So if I see a land on top, I'm kind of inclined to lead on the Phelia. Because I can like play Ranger-Captain and flicker it, which I didn't see, so I'll just play the Sanctifier. Keeps a card on top. Psychic Frog. Edward, 6 months. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. So Grief, Pitch, Atraxa. Epicure, good as Boros, cheap red permanent, also spins Flage. I get stun locked. we don't just have to build a whole different deck all the time. There's like lots of ways to play with MH3 cards. Let's try not to get too sidetracked. Just play one deck at a time. Oh, that was just value Grief. And I please discard a card, I guess. An odd attack. I don't think I should double block here. Alright, discards a Grief. Plays a Cephalid Coliseum. Red permanent text Ajani is this important part. I mean, when you have red permanents, Ajani can go crazy, but it's just not. Yeah, it's just not like a mandatory part of it. So I guess I should have attacked the Sentinel too. I don't know if I love Cephalid Coliseum and Gorios. Might be okay. They discard an Ulamog. What's the highest mana value? They have Atraxa. So this could be pretty bad for me. Either Spike with the 29 months. Hope you're doing well. I'm lucky enough to have a Solitude this time. So this is Annihilator 7. Thankfully I have the Flagstones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Have just Phelia. Alright, just Phelia. Good luck. Isn't Sanctifier better? This is 2-turn clock. Sanctifier is 3-turn clock. They both died of Solitude. Feels like this is better. Also means they can't tap this and crack a fetch this turn, which is not nothing. Land! Damn it. Didn't yell loud enough. Discards Atraxa. Wait, I'm down to 5? Just dead to the frog. Discard 4. Give it flying. Tough game. On the play against a Giganta deck, I don't think this hand is very good against Prowess or Ruby Storm, so let's go ahead and mulligan, and let's keep this with back at Ephemerate. And then it's kind of weird, because if they're Ruby Storm, I want to not play this Suppression Field on turn 2, probably. Is Sanctifier way better than Rest in Peace? They're kind of different cards. One thing is I don't really like one some of the main graveyard decks are Living End, or one of the main graveyard decks is Living End. And like Rest in Peace isn't particularly good against Living End in a deck like this, where like it just still lets them have a bunch of 3-mana Wraths. It's like way better to play Drannith Magistrate. But Sanctifier is very good against a lot of decks. Okay, Ragavan is very bad against Ocelot Pride. I'm pretty sure I want to White Orchid Phantom so I can go Ranger-Captain plus second Ocelot Pride next turn, potentially. Crispy with the 26, thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. What Containment Priest turns Phelia into killers? It's kind of awkward to play Containment Priest in your Ephemerate deck. It is good with Phelia. It's bad with Ephemerate. You can play Containment Priest over Ephemerate, but Ephemerate is pretty good in this deck. It might even be better to play like Hallowed Moonlight instead, because it's just like a one-time kill a creature, draw a card. And a tap land? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're gonna have City's Blessing on our second Ocelot. So I do not want to offer this. I do not want to trade here. This would be an actual negative trade for me. It's so funny. Phelia Priest is busted. It is Phelia plus Priest is situationally good. It's kind of slow. It's very easy to disrupt, and is not that powerful against a lot of strategies. They want to trade away. This cat would trade for Ragavan because it has not first strike. But obviously, the trade of this. Obviously, these two don't trade. All right, so this is 9 permanents or 8 permanents. It's 8, then 9, which counts City Blessing, and we get 3 more cats. This is our turn 3. Yeah, it was really weird that they killed the White Orchid Phantom, but like they couldn't attack with Ragavan anyways. Okay, so I can just Eiganjo the Shaman. I can play Phelia first, so I can double spell. Think you got an extra point of damage? I mean, it's like really bad if they trade the Ragavan for the cat. I agree that they're almost never going to block, but the upside of 1 point of damage I think is just not high enough where I potentially am not going to get the extra cat, because like this Ragavan is like clearly going to be so bad. Like they should make the trade. I agree that they won't want to, but they should make it. I guess I should have done let first strike damage happen. I would have gained 1 more life. Like they should, like this is not getting better than trading for a cat. And I know that they're not very likely to trade for it, but multiple Ocelots is so nice. It's part of the reason why having Ranger-Captain is such a big deal, I think. And Ranger-Captain is also very good against Storm at the moment. Discards 2 Flages, which we might be able to beat here. Yeah, imagine getting to plus with Ajani. Okay, so we're on the draw against Boros, and I think my current plan is to cut the suppression fields and play some mix of Sanctifier and en-Vec and Portable Hole. I've been getting this visual bug a lot lately, where it is sideboarded out, but it doesn't like show it. Kind of maybe just play 4 of these. Maybe I'm not even bringing in the Portable Holes. The card is pretty good against them though. Let's figure it out. Let's get these in there. So this is sided out. I know it doesn't visually look like it, but it is sided out. Phelia is probably my weakest 2-drop to all of their 1-mana removal spells. So I feel like I could trim the first Phelia. I want all 4 Esper Sentinels pretty badly. I want all 4 Ajanis pretty badly. I could trim the 4th Solitude when I bring in all of these Portable Holes. I guess I should actually just be... Maybe the White Orchid Phantoms are just the weak links. Maybe this is actually just wrong, and I'm just supposed to do this. Yeah, it's just the Phantoms are the weak links. Let's do that. Okay. I'm confused how you're getting them in cats. So I'm gonna explain why. So okay, let's read Ocelot Pride. It says, beginning of this step, if you gained life this turn, make a cat. Then, if you have the City's Blessing, you copy each token that entered the battlefield this turn. So if you have 1 Ocelot Pride and you have City's Blessing, you get 2 cats. 1 cat and a copy of it, assuming you made no other tokens this turn. Then, if you have 2 Ocelot Prides, you make a cat, and then you copy all the cats that entered. So you get 6 cats. If you have 3 Ocelot Prides, then you make another cat, then you copy all, so you get 7 more. And so it goes kind of crazy in multiples. I assume there is a reason you didn't put Aether Vial in the deck. Yes, this is a Suppression Field deck, and Aether Vial and Suppression Field are very poor together. So we're on the draw with a pretty good 1-lander. But it's still 1-lander. Let's go to 6. This is also 1-lander that we're going to keep. Why is Suppression Field so good? So Suppression Field is just very powerful against like most strategies in Modern. It's insane against Nadu and Yawgmoth. It's very good against fetch lands, which the vast majority of decks play, of course. Fetch lands, fetch lands, the One Ring, Yawgmoth, Nadu, even like the Ral Ultimate. Like I mean, they have the 2 mana usually, but you know, has some text against that. The card is just awesome, and like the reason it doesn't see a lot of play is not because Suppression Field it hasn't been like an awesome card for a long time. Suppression Field hasn't seen a lot of play historically, just because it's very hard to include in the deck because it's kind of so good against all your other stuff a lot of the time. I guess I'm gonna play this against Sentinel. But if you can afford to play Suppression Field, it's just such a powerful effect, and it's against Living End, like it taxes all their cyclers, it taxes their fetch lands in that deck. It's good against Living End. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a deck that it's like super bad against. It's like not at its best against Titan, but still taxes a good amount of things. Could double block the Ajani. I'm just gonna take the head here. Yeah, I did consider playing Force of Virtue. I was a little concerned about running out of gas. I think we'll probably do that when the bird comes out, the new one from Assassin's Creed. Jolted Awake with Ranger-Captain. It's the white energy. I know Jolted Awake. I don't think it's like right for this deck. I would maybe even play like Savine's Reclamation instead, where it's like, you know, 1 for 1 early and then flashes back for a 2 for 1. I have like 1 Sabine's Rec for a little bit in this list. Okay, maybe we can draw a land and start going off with Ocelot Pride. But I think it's just a different deck. Am I going to play the Pro Tour? No. You may notice I'm still here in Texas, and I'm not in Amsterdam. You know, I'm not cute for this one. I could block this and be slightly worse against Galvanic Discharge. That should be okay. Ranger of Eos for card advantage. This deck probably can't support 4 mana spells that easily. We're only playing 20 lands. We have Ranger-Captain of Eos, which is also, you know, pretty good. Maybe we should have like 1 Suppression Field because they brought in Hearst and they have a bunch of fetch lands. Kind of looks like they're playing my last build of the deck or something pretty close to it. Yeah, I did a video on Assassin's Creed on YouTube you can check out. Hmm. They go after the Guide of Souls, which is probably what I would have not preferred for them to target. I would have also preferred to... Would you want to land single land this game? Yeah, I think you could play a Jolted Awake deck, and you could have Ranger-Captain in that deck too, but I just don't know. You know, it's like a little far away from what we're doing, I think. So they're going to lose their last energy next turn, so I may get this Guide of Souls back at some point, which would certainly be pretty helpful. A second land would be helpful as well. Your turn. What do I think will be the top 3 most played decks of the modern PT? It's kind of tough to predict. I think Nadu will be a little overplayed, and I think Nadu will be the most popular deck. It will not have a very good win rate overall, but there will be some really really good players who have really tuned lists that I think they'll put like 1 to 2 copies in the top 8. Is my prediction for Nadu. I think Living End will be a very very good choice. I don't know it, like if a lot of teams are going to end up on Living End, but I think Living End will be a very good choice. I think Ruby Storm would be a good choice, but I think Ruby Storm will be underplayed. Is my prediction there. And I kind of expect people to maybe play like a good amount of. Sorry, lose my train of thought. I'm really hoping they don't have a creature here because I can get my second Guide of Souls back, I guess. And they don't have one, so I can get. So they're losing their Static Prison next turn. Is this game winnable? I don't know. Yeah, I think there will be like I think a Flage deck, either Mardu or Jeskai will be very popular. Maybe both Mardu or Jeskai will be popular. I think Blue Red Wizards is like super good, but maybe I need to work on it some more. I think Eldrazi will I think my prediction is that Eldrazi will be the best performing deck at the Pro Tour, either some Emrakul version or slightly lower to the ground build, but I predict yeah, I think the mono green Eldrazi deck we've been playing is nuts. I think the colorless Eldrazi decks are very good. I think that Eldrazi will be the best performing deck at the Pro Tour is my prediction. But I'm not sure exactly top 3. So they're gonna get to flip the Fable, which triggers the Guide of Souls, gains them a life. I'm also gonna get to Guide of Souls. Maybe I should play a Ajani here so they just don't so I can like block with my cat token. Also, wait, although maybe I want to wait to play a Ajani until. Also, can they play an Escape Flage? They can play an Escape Flage if they draw it. I'm gonna play the Ajani. We've been contracted by any teams for help. Contracted is kind of funny. I just have friends who are qualified for the Pro Tour who I'm chatting with like 3 of them about it, and that's kind of it. It's not a very formal thing. I just have a few friends who are cute, and I am chatting with them and trying to help them out. Not a very formal thing. Okay, so give me back my second Guide of Souls. Oh, contacted. Yeah, no, I haven't like been reached out by a team formally, but I'm talking with like, I think I'm talking with 3 different people who are on 3 different teams actually. Detective a good time. I'm sorry, Clausy. I'm sorry I forgot again. Sorry about that. Let me pull it up. Goif. Thinking. Yeah, I'll definitely play another one of these. They have no cards in their hand too, so if I ephemerate this Ajani, I kind of get to pop off really hard. Because this lets me gain. I get. Wait, hold on. I didn't get my Guide of Souls back. Oh, I didn't get Guide of Souls because they flipped Reflection. Dang, I missed that interaction. Okay. I don't know if the stream is correct. Is Dream of Steels and Oil better than IOK? I mean, probably not. Maybe. But I mean, I've been liking IOK a lot for like the first time in a long time. We're really gonna pop off here. Need them to brick a little bit. I'm still chewing on this deck list a little bit. I think it looks pretty good for the most part. So we get to gain a lot of life. We get to make a lot of tokens. So I think they brought in Hearse because they're playing my most recent build of the deck that's playing Flame Scroll Celebrant in the main deck, and they're just like they kind of have to cut those in the matchup, and there's not a lot else to bring in against this kind of deck. That was pretty nice. Dude, that was a game where we missed our second land drop for like 5 or 6 turns. Against a deck that's very, very good in grindy matchups. It isn't like it like isn't close to being as good as it is in Yawgmoth. But I understand that you want to play some amount of this card for Planeswalker count for your Goyfs, which I think is okay. Okay, hopefully we can draw a White Orchid Phantom thing. Although oh well, I guess Phelia can be good against Chalice. Turn 1 Chalice in the play is pretty good here. So these are some thoughts. I want to see you play the third 6. I think the card's very good in the deck. I think you could go down a Grist. Otherwise, I don't feel like I would do a lot to the main deck. I like the first Necromancia. You could maybe main deck a Toxic Deluge. This is something I've been kind of thinking lately. Is that I'd like to be playing more copies of Toxic Deluge in decks, or just like you could maybe move one to the main. But I like seeing a couple of these at the side. I'm not really so sure about the Surgical Extraction plan versus Nadu. I've heard some mixed results for people who are trying out the plan. I encourage you to continue to try it, and I think that it might be a pretty good plan, but I'm just not exactly sure at the moment. Okay, I'd love to draw a land. Can I build a Profane for Giganta? Oh, yes. I think not playing a Felder Profane in your deck is worth having access to Companion, especially in this kind of archetype. So I really want a land on top so I can go Ranger-Captain into Cat. Although I also take a a Knight. I really dislike Terra Sunder. I would play Pick Your Poison over Terra Sunder. I'm a big hater of this card. I might play the 4th Damping Sphere. Probably would not play the extra Edict in the board. But overall, like the board looks pretty good. I don't have like a lot of notes. I think the list is pretty solid overall. Looks very fun too. Okay, so I've missed on my land. Next turn could be the All Is Dust turn. I think I might wait. Looks like they have Kozilek's Command. Yeah, I think they have Kozilek's Command and they're going to kill my Guide of Souls. They make a spawn. It's like... I mean, the thing is, like, sacking my Ranger Captain isn't going to beat... like, this isn't going to be enough to win against my opponent having... All Is Dust, so I think I'm waiting a turn on the Ranger Captain with the intention of playing 2 Ocelot Prides next turn that will pop off for me and let me play around the All Is Dust next turn. Chalice on 1. Chalice was on 1, and then I flickered it with Phelia, so now it's on 0. And also maybe just having double Ocelot Pride in my hand is a good way to beat All Is Dust anyways. They didn't cast Kozilek's Command. They just conceded. Okay. Well, Mono White crushing so far. So we are on the draw against a more creature-focused build of Eldrazi. I think just running it back. I mean, the suppression fields don't seem very good against them, I guess. Better if they're playing the ring. Flare of Fortitude doesn't seem like it does a lot. Portable Hold doesn't do a lot. Drannith Magistrate doesn't do a lot. Would be nice to see a little bit more of their deck, but I think this card probably just has more text than Suppression Field. Maybe play one. We dropped a match to Goryo's, and it seemed like there's a little bit of a hole in our sideboard plans where Sanctifier didn't exile Ulamog. And I mean, I think it's like maybe okay where it's like we have Solitude for Ulamog in these matchups, and we have Sanctifier for the other stuff, but maybe that's also not really that good of a plan since my opponent can also just ephemerate the Ulamogs. Yeah, I think I would play the Whitebird in the Assassin's Creed. I think I might even play like 4 or 3 at first, and then try to play Force of Virtue in the deck. But I'm not sure exactly how we'd be making that work. You know what I mean? So if they play a Temple next turn, it's kind of going to be interesting on like, do you play Phelia or White Orchid Phantom first? Oh, Fleshraker. So I think because I have 2 White Orchid Phantoms, I'm just going to be able to like do this 2 turns in a row and kind of bury my opponent a little bit. I'm going to Solitude pitch Solitude, I think, because I want to be able to have a second Phelia if they Thought-Knot Seer me. How do I build humans in Modern right now? I don't know. It's a kind of a complicated question. I may try to answer it soon, but I'm not sure at the moment how I would. I do think there's a chance humans is good, because like playing a bunch of like hate bears is not a very bad strategy at the moment. Although there's a good chance something like this is good. So they don't have anything to imprint on for the Ugins lab this time. I know your super needs mono white builds. Does anyone play red cards for Ajani? Not any good way, I think. It's like you don't really want to be that in on the Ajani Planeswalker side of the deck in your Suppression Field deck. And the idea is that you get to play Suppression Field, and it's just so hard to play red permanents. But and also I think this deck is looking really good today and is performing well, and I'm really excited about it. And you know, we've had a lot of questions about red permanents for Ajani. You can play red permanents if you want to. I will probably not be for a while. So my Eiganjo is coming up here. Prevent 2 damage. Bone says, "Oh right." Oh, they play a 3rd basic land. Then they Thought-Knot Seer my White Orchid Phantom. It's coming up. Eiganjo Castle is good. Probably out of basics, yeah. Linebreaker, huh? Okay, that's fine. Not thinking about chump blocking my Phelia, are you? Yeah, I could blink the Thought-Knot Seer there. I don't know. I don't know. Card quality seems kind of low. Curve seems kind of high. Card quality low, curve high. Not the best formula, but I've been there. So block Ephemerate is kind of, not the best. Taking 10 is also not the best. Like I get to like jump Guide of Souls. I get to maybe flicker Thought Not Seer. I think I'll probably just do this. Yeah, people like I just don't put extraction specialist in your deck almost ever, but like definitely don't do it when your like curve is like it needs to be like the top of your curve. I'm pretty like just off extraction specialist in general. Just gonna look at this for the life and the energy. How I spoke on the MTGO League data being made public. I've taken, I've been silenced on the issue, but we'll see if I'm able to freely speak at any time. I don't know. I don't know why I said that. I don't think I have a very strong opinion on what's going on at the moment. It would be nice if it was all made public. I think to some extent, Wizards not wanting all the data to be published, that seems to be what they want, and I think that kind of makes sense as a desire. You know what I mean? It's like to metagames get solved a lot faster, and I think things can be more interesting when not everybody has all the data. So I think it's an interesting conversation that I kind of see both sides of the argument on, and I don't feel very strongly about. Then they just make it public. Yeah, but I thought that they tried to make all the data public, and then Wizards stopped them. That's my understanding of what's going on with that situation, and I see. I could see being on either side of like the data, and I'm not a big data guy. And yeah, just I think I would lean towards it being kind of nice if all like deck lists were public or all this stuff or like win rates were public. I think it'd be kind of cool, but it could be a net negative for a format. But I think it could be like fun to try. Do we know what's actually stopped them? I mean, I think it's probably speculation, but it makes sense, right? Like it makes sense for them to stop them. They've man, my opponents keep conceding before I can Ocelot them. Well, if I knew Solitude Ephemerate was really good against my opponent, I would keep. I think I'll keep anyways. Yeah, ban talk would be out of control. I think there's a good chance it's for the best to like keep doing things the way we've been doing them. Why aren't Decklist publishing it on OCC? I don't know what's going on. Dude, Shadow's been so popular. I don't know why the deck lists are not being posted, but I'm sure this just kind of happens sometimes, to be honest. When all the decks were dumped, wasn't the consensus that led to homogenous formats as people converged on the best deck? Yeah, I think this is definitely a thing, but also modern is a very complicated format, and there's also a lot of people just not playing optimal deck lists in this format too. Right, let's get ahead on board here. You still feel good about Collector's Cage? Yeah, we played the deck yesterday. Seemed like a deck I would still register. I guess maybe I should have targeted the Frog first because of Flare of Denial. It's not really a card I'm very used to playing around still. I think I should Phelia over White Orchid Phantom, despite the Phantom being ramp here. Yeah, it seems like it would be more true for Standard, but could just be true in general. Again, it's just, I don't know. Not something we're going to have a lot of control over no matter what. Okay, so 5/5 Death Shadow. One card in their hand. I want to see what I'm drawing next turn. Decide if I'm going to attack and put them down to 6 or not. Yeah, I mean, we could try to keep that and keep this at 6 power or something. I think I'm just still attacking. I don't know why they would let them keep posting league data. Why did they stop the status quo? The league data will come back. I'm not very worried about this being like a long term problem. Interesting. Which one drop are we getting? Probably supposed to get Pride. Yeah, it's probably just like they want less Decklist for the PT, so people have to figure out stuff a little bit more on their own. Maybe this thing's good. We'll see. We'll see. I assume there'd be givers. Yeah, the thing about givers in this deck is like almost everything has an ETB effect, with the exception of Phelia, which is reusing your ETB effects. So I don't think you end up being like a particularly good Giver of Runes deck. So they should give the Psychic Frog flying. But they are very likely just leaving themselves dead on the backswing here. It seemed like easy Guide of Souls there. Well, I mean, Guide of Souls is very far away from giving anything flying. So I think I disagree. So I don't want to block because then my opponent can just discard one card to kill my White Orchid Phantom. Although they do get to flip this. That was a mistake. 2, 3, 4. I don't get to gain any life off my Ocelot. It was good to just not play this. Hold up the ambush. I have to kill the Tamiyo. Why not attack Flicker last turn with ambush? Attack Flicker last turn with the ambush if they block Tamiyo. So what did you want me to Flicker? Just ambush the Tamiyo when they block. I mean, I wanted to play the Ocelot Pride is why I took this line, but maybe that might have been wrong. If I attack with the Ocelot, I don't get to gain any life. Was that not lethal? No, not with the Tamiyo Plus. With Flicker Shadow if they just don't push. Yeah, maybe it was better to attack there. So opponent's going down to 4. Flicker Shadow, they can't block with Frog. Send that 2 more. Yeah, maybe that line was better. I'm on board. Another Frog. So any creature would be awesome here to trigger the Ocelot Pride. Hello, any creature. So I could attack with Phelia, but I don't know if that seems very good. I could attack with the White Orchid Phantom, and then I probably get to kill a frog. But it might be better to be able to block and like deny any card draw here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna pass, make 2 more cats, and I just have lethal by with the Guide of Souls jumping something next turn, potentially. Turning Phelia into next turn also seems incredibly good. My opponent could have a discard spell. Phelia in play is also still very good. It's super good to have this card still in play. And so throwing it away for an Ocelot in hand next turn seems kind of like it doesn't make sense where I'm just setting up for lethal. I just have a lethal attack next turn. Like, am I really trying to play a game where I'm just trying to Ocelot a ton? Maybe. I understand Oceloting a lot is very fun. Yeah, Toxic Deluge would be a dub here. So weird for 1/1 to be so good at Modern, should be so fragile. Yeah. It's not always this good. We're paper playtesting with young Dingo. Like, he just, Dingo always plays Bowmaster decks. Okay, so Portable Hole's in. White Orchid Phantom's out. Could be okay to play some Sanctifier and Vex because they have Nethergoyf. We also have like a lot of other exile effects, and I'm not that scared of it in general, so I think I'm just gonna... I want to keep the Suppression Fields in, even though we're on the draw. Maybe we'll play one Sanctifier over Suppression Field number 4 on the draw. Let's try that. Okay, I will also be right back.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
2 lands, 2 Ocelot Prides, 1 keep, baby.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
And my opponent mulliganed. Although if they thought he's my Witch Enchanter, hand goes down a little bit. I'm liking this deck. We'll probably stick to this one build for a little bit. I don't know if we need to answer, or if we need to play like a little bit of a different graveyard hate suite because of Ulamog. Could play like 2 Sanctifier, 2 Rest in Peace maybe. This is sweet. You have a good game 1 plan against common decks like Tron Rubinati. We played against the fair strategy. Yeah, we beat Death Shadow. We beat Boros Energy like really handily, which was kind of surprising to me because I feel like that deck is kind of like the best deck in the format against other fair decks. I don't think they could have played a little bit better. They could have top decked a little better, but we 2-0'd them. We only lost to Esper Gorios, which seems like maybe a little bit of a gap in our plans. Okay, well, looks like I'm gonna go Portable Hole Cat. I think I want to play this also to be more resilient to Unthoughtseize. I'm liking the Portable Holes on the sideboard. We could play 1 last, maybe. Boros Boom Bust's not good anymore. I mean, I think the deck's okay. The last time we played it, we 4-1. I think the deck's playable. You don't have to play Boom Bust, but you do have to have a plan for these combo decks. And so, like, honestly, this deck is kind of an evolution of the Boros deck that's trying to be very in on Suppression Field and feels somewhat comfortable cutting all the white cards, which is not something you have to do, but I think it's pretty good. So I think I'm going to send in with just the one Ocelot Pride. And they're like, yeah, they just kind of can't block it. Now we've got the City's Blessing, and we're popping off. I love the ability, like, we're really, really good at doing this thing because we have Ranger Captains to make extra cats. Like, this thing is just like, what the fuck? Move over, Ragavan. No, don't Toxic Deluge me. Don't do it. I'm a good man. No. Fuck. What the fuck? So I'm down to 10. They have 10 points of power in play, huh? I think I play Ajani first. So I can jump block, flip Ajani, and then get a steady stream of blockers here. And their hand is Fatal Push to Bitter Triumph. Okay. Yikers. Well, why not yes to flip Ajani? Well, it's dead. It's not flipping. Why couldn't they block the cat? Well, they didn't want to block the cat because I could flip the Ajani. But they really didn't block the cat because of the Toxic Deluge. I've identified a hole in the strategy. Yes, Toxic Deluge seems good against us. I concur. I don't think I'm going to Witch Enchanter turn 1. Nice 0-1 for 1. Suppression Field is good against Tomio, Bobble, Street Wraith, fetch lands. But besides that, not much. Oh, also Frog, yeah. So my plan is to block the Frog and then Solitude or when they pump. No fear of Street Wraith? Not really. Which one do I block? I guess it has to be the Frog, because they can discard to grow the Nether Goyf, right? So they got 2 cards in their hand. I got a Solitude in the top deck. Phelia versus Nether Goyf. Dual decks. Not so bad to be in a spot where lands are good top decks and spells are good top decks. I'm not sure about attacking, I guess. Against the shadow deck. Yeah, let's maybe pump our brakes a little bit here. We can block and then Eiganjo also. Okay, so still only 2 types in their yard. And 2 cards in their hand. We do this now so they can't counter it. They are 1 type away from escaping the other Nether Goyf, but then it won't be too big, I guess. Bitter Triumph, 2 cards in hand. One of them is a Watery Grave, which enters untapped. Could definitely be a counter spell. I'm very good at Magic. They have 2 mana up. Could be a counter spell. Could also just be shocking for Death Shadow, I guess. So let's find out. I don't know necessarily that they would counter this. I will play my 4 mana 2/2 though. Maybe not. Maybe they've dressed down. Yeah, I think if they just, I don't think they're just shocking with no Death Shadow in hand. I think they have to have a 2 mana card there. They would just hold it in their hand, I think. Yeah, but go Witch Enchanter. Only I drawn a second one here. 3 cards. They need a fetch land to Nether Goyf. Or Bobble. They play a Swamp, probably one of their worst draws. Phelia is one of our better draws. I think their hand is dressed down. Mystery card. It should be a spell. Could be Toxic Deluge. They really want to keep lands in hand for Bitter Triumph. You have Thoughtseize in their hand also. Oh, for Frog, yeah, good point. So not Toxic Deluge, they would have cast it here. Okay. Kind of an anticlimactic end, but I think pretty impressive league here. Or won our first league. Lost mostly because we just didn't have a good answer to Uglebog out of Goryo's besides Solitude. I don't know if I want to play less than 4 Sanctifier. I think I can go down a Flare of Fortitude. I really want to have a bunch of these against blue-white control. I don't know. Just get control, rather. I don't know. Seems like a nice card to have. But maybe 3 is like 1 too many. I don't know. I mean, I have Solitude for Ulamog, and I have Sanctifier.